Welcome to Cooking with Dad. I'm your host, Manny Lopes. Today we're here gathered around as we typically do on a Sunday, having a big family meal. This is what it's all about. This is Cooking with Dad. Hi, I'm Annie, Cooking with Dad. Today we're at the Ludlow Portuguese Festa, and there's going to be hundreds, thousands of people here. We're going to take it back to our kitchen, where we're going to take just a few slices of the bifanas, marinate it, put it on our own grill at home, and make up some super bifanas with some sauteed onions right in my kitchen and in your kitchen. Okay, welcome to Cooking with Dad. I'm Manny Lopes, your host, and this is my son Frank. Today we're going to cook up a variation of Portuguese sandwiches. We went to the Portuguese Festa and we saw them making some sandwiches over there, some Chouriço sandwiches, some bifanas, and a steak sandwich that I'm not sure if we saw it there, but there's a steak sandwich called a Prego, which means a nail, and there's a specific reason why it's called that. So we're going to show you how to make the marinade. It's called a vinho d'alhos. A vinho d'alhos it's wine and garlic, basically, but there's some other ingredients. So we're going to show you the process on how to do that, and also I'm going to show you how to slice up the pork and get it to the consistency that you want for the bifanas, and then Frank is going to do his version on it. Yeah,
I couldn't help but noticing at the Festa, and here you have all these meats and everything, so I wanted to bring something in for our vegetarian viewers, so I got a little tofu here for us, and we're going to marinate that up in the same stuff that we're going to do the bifanas in. We'll have a tofuana, if you will. And,
is it tofana or a tufana?
Tufana, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I kind of made it up.
Yeah, sounds good, sounds good. So to make the vinho d'alhos, we put some garlic in there, we dice them up, and we can put the rest of it in there. Use as much garlic as you want. Don't be shy on how much garlic to use. The garlic is, you like garlic, and garlic's good for you, right? Yeah. So we do that. Can't get enough. And we have paprika. Paprika is a key ingredient. It has nice flavor. I like to use a nice sweet paprika with a nice color to it. You can smell it, and if you taste it, it has a nice sweet flavor to it. We add that right in there, just like that. Some hot sauce. This is where it varies a little bit. You can use hot sauce. Your choice of hot sauces. You have a lot of different store-bought brands of hot sauce that you can use, or you can use hot peppers. Take some hot peppers and dice them up thin and throw them in there, and it's gonna get the marinade nice and hot. In Portugal, their custom, they use a hot pepper called a piri pepper. Piri pepper is something that the early explorers brought back to Portugal from Africa. It's a little red pepper, very hot, hard to get, and if you can find those, try that, and it's fantastic. A lot of meals made with that. So I have a store-bought brand of hot sauce here to make it easier. We'll pour that right in there. It's about a half a cup. So then the final ingredient, really, we need a little bit of salt. Give me a little bit of salt over there. And we also have some wine. We add white wine. Vinho d'alhos. Vinho is wine. And it's a method of preserving and flavoring the meats so that they can eat them that day or later, another day or later in the week. So I've got 2 cups of wine over here. We'll add that in.
And how much salt do you want here? Just a couple pinches? Or?
Yeah, a couple pinches. Yep, that's beautiful. Yep. So we do that. Let me get a little spoon here. And we just kind of stir it up a little bit. And that's it. That's your basic vinho d'alhos. And you put your pork in there. And in your case, we're going to put some tofu in there. Mm-hmm. And it's going to infuse the flavors into the pork or the tofu. And you have your traditional bifana. Then the rest is how you cook it. We're going to get into that. So let's do the pork now. And again, the pork, it's pork sirloin is a good one to use, and you can buy it whole, or your butcher can slice it up very thin. You want thin slices, so they're about 1/8 to 1/4 inch of thin pork slices. As many as you want. Again, you can marinate this in substance and save it for the week. you know, later on in the week you can cook it up. So we sliced them up. I'll show you how to do that. You need a sharp knife. Again, you can have your butcher do it, and you know, it'll be a lot easier. So you just take it, slice it thin, and again, and you can butterfly it out, and you have a nice little piece like that. And what I like to do to thin it out a little bit more is you can take your knife and just go like this, and it stretches it out, makes it nice and thin. You put that right in the marinade. Take another one. Comes out nice and thin. The thinner the better. Put it right in the marinade. So we do that. We put them all in there. Soak them up.
So how long do we have to let them in here before we can cook them up and eat them?
You can let them marinate for an hour or two, and they're ready to go. Yeah, but the longer you leave them in there,
More flavor.
the more flavor. The color of the meat is going to change a little bit because the marinade is actually going to kind of cook them a little bit. You know, so it's going to change up a little bit. But even if it turns color a little bit, it's still very good, and you get a nice pork Bifana sandwich. And you can do the same thing with the tofu. I think we prepared some of that.
Yeah, I like to put my tofu in the freezer when we're frying them, doing things like this. It changes the consistency of it a bit and makes it a little tougher, more meat-like.
What kind of, there's different types of tofu. Now,
you want to use a firmer tofu because you're going to be frying it on the griddle or in the pan. And we have some pre-sliced here that we cut up for you.
What we like to do with a tofu is before putting it in the marinade, you can put it on a low dish. You can spread it out like that, and you can get some paprika and sprinkle the paprika on it, and that adds a little bit of a color to it, and start adding a little bit of flavor to it, and then you can throw it in the marinade a little bit later. That way it doesn't wash off because it doesn't have the absorbency of the pork. But that's it. You can just put that in there, and we're ready to go.
So once we got it all marinated, what's the first thing we do when we gotta cook it?
We need to cook up some onions because with the Bifanas, a little bit of onions is always nice, and we can always also use the onions for the other sandwiches. So let's do that. While you do that, I'll prepare some other stuff. So we're going to use an iron skillet. You got to put a little olive oil. Absolutely, a little olive oil. Of course, we like to use some good extra virgin olive oil, and we have some onions. Do that.
Just throw them all in.
Just throw them in. You know how to do it. Just kind of let it turn the heat up on high. You know what I like to do with that, Frank? As the onions are cooking up in there a little bit, I like to add a little color to them. So, you know, paprika always gives it a nice little color, so you sprinkle a little bit on there. Adds a little flavor, adds a little color.
Yeah, brightens it right up.
Yeah, brightens it right up. Gives it the color, you know, that we're looking for. Yeah, that looks good. Good. And as those soften up, then we can throw our Bifanas in there, and what probably should do is get another one going, you know, another pan going for your two Bifanas, so we can do them both up like that.
Sure.
While you do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the steak ready. To talk about that. So we're going to do the steak. The steak is a Portuguese steak called a Prego, which means nail. Get yourself some nice 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch sliced steak. Could be sirloin, could be your choice of beef. Doesn't really matter. So you take your steak. I'm going to add a little bit of paprika on it too for a little color. These are not going to go in a marinade. They're just going to stay like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some garlic, and we diced up some garlic. We want to dice these up fairly fine, like that. It looks good. Wash my hands. So as we take the steak, spread out the garlic, put the steak on top of the garlic, and just hammer them into the steak. So it's a nail. It's called So we get get it right on there. You can use a mallet, you can use your hands. You can see I use my hands. How are those onions doing over there?
They're getting cooked, about ready. I think you could probably
Want to try that? We'll try some.
throw some bifanas on there.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to separate a little bit? Put some, do the tofu too.
Throw some onions in there.
Want to talk about this a little bit?
Well, this is just the tofu in the marinade, just like we made it for the bifanas. Same, we sprinkled the paprika on it, and we'll just throw them in there and let them sizzle up with the onions.
How long does it take to do the tofu, you think?
The tofu cooks pretty quick. You don't have to cook it very much.
Right.
Just make it brown until it's a nice color, basically.
Okay. Let's move those aside a little bit. That looks nice. Smells good. And we're going to take our bifanas. We're going to dig for them over here. They've been marinating. They're sliced very thinly here. Let me get a nice one. There you go. They've got a nice flavor to them. Nice color. You just spread them out on the skillet. They cooked up pretty quickly too. Oops. Take that.
This is great. So you can just leave this in the fridge, and if you're in a rush or something, you can just pull it out and
make
have yourself a meal real quick.
Oh, absolutely. And you can make this into a sandwich, and there's meals you can make with it also, and a plated dish and so forth. So it comes out great. Looks nice. Great.
Just throw the tofu on there too at the same time.
Yep. Well, that looks good, Frank. You want to add a little color to that or no?
Yeah, I'd like to put a little paprika on it while it's cooking. Give it some more color.
Okay.
Good.
And what I like to do sometimes too is, take a little bit of the marinade, a little bit of the garlic, and throw it in the pan.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. It gives it a little bit of a sauce consistency. Yeah.
Let it stew in that flavor.
Yep. That looks good. That looks good. I'm going to flip some of these around over here. It doesn't take long. You put it on there, just for a minute or so. You can see that they're cooked because they're thin slices of pork, so they cook up pretty quick. And you flip them over. Another minute or so on the other side, and we've got a nice, some nice pork cutlet bifanas ready to go. So we're going to move this over a little bit. Let them stay warm in the pans a little bit, and we'll get going with the other ones. We're going to put the steaks on now. Frank's got the grill going over there.
Yep.
And we can do that.
Put a little more olive oil on here.
Yeah, looks like good and hot. Good, good. And let's put the other pan on also while we're at it.
For the Chouriços. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Warm that up a little bit. And while you do
throw
that,
these on here?
just throw those on there. You can throw probably just one. I think we only need one, just for what we got going here. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, let's use this thing. Don't burn your fingers. All right, great. So what I'm going to do, next we're going to make some chouriço sandwiches. Chouriço is a very traditional Portuguese sausage. There's different types of chouriço. There's hot chouriço, sweet chouriço. We have a sweet chouriço today. And it's not the smoked variety for cooking it into, making it into a sandwich on the grill. We don't really want the smoked. So we take a chouriço, and it looks like that. And basically you cut it about the size of a bread that you're going to put on. So we cut it like simple slice and cut it down the middle like that. Works nicely. A couple little slices on the back. You can slice them up thinner if you want. Open them up. How's the pan going over there for the chouriço? You think it's hot?
I think it's getting hot. Yeah.
Okay. Let's try putting a little bit on there. How's the steak looking? That looks good. I'll tell you. That looks like it's.
Flip it over?
Yeah, flip it. So let's take some chouriço. These cook up pretty quickly also. Put them on there. Again, they only take just a few minutes on each side also. The pork meat in there has already been cooked, and so so we're not fully cooking. We're just heating it up, browning it, and we're going to be good to go. That looks very good. While you do that, I'm going to get our bread ready. The bread that we use are typical Portuguese rolls. They call them papa six, which is the traditional name, and we have them right over here. They're the same dough that they use on the bigger breads. They make them smaller. They're nice for sandwiches. They're a perfect size for a sandwich. So we just take the knife, kind of slice it right down the middle, and open it up, and nice Bifana. What do you think? You like yours toasted, or you like them just like that?
You know, I like to throw them on the grill a little bit.
Like throw them on the grill? Pick up the flavors a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Something I learned from you.
Yeah. Actually, once you throw some onions, some of these onions in there with the steak, I like a little bit of onions on my steak. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So while it's cooking up like that, you take your bread. What do you do with the bread? There you go. Put it right on there. You're gonna pick up some of the flavors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Taste it already.
Denise's looking good.
Yep. So you flip it over. You want a little bit browner on that one. Yeah. No, it needs a little bit more cooking. The thin ones there, I think, are looking pretty good. Yep, looking very good. Let's start plating, making some of the sandwiches of the Bifanas and the tofu.
Yeah, why don't we put the Bifanas together?
So let's do
These
that.
are almost done cooking too.
Give me a little bit of pork. Yep, layer it right on there. Yep. Some onions.
Some onions.
Oh yeah, load it right on there. Yep, load it in there.
You like yours with lots of onions?
Oh yeah. Yep, look at that.
That looks good.
That looks very good. Perfect. And I think that steak is ready. Let's get that steak out. Hold on. Ah, yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, put it on there. And some onions. Get this.
Put some of the drippings on there too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. We got some pan drippings over here. A little bit of the garlic. Get that garlic in there. Right on the bread. Put those over here. And then we got to make a tufana.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the tofu sandwich. And again, same thing. I tell you, Frank, I think this is going to catch on. This was Frank's experiment with tofu. So that, he's missing those Portuguese meals, being a vegetarian and going to vegetarian and healthy alternatives. That's excellent. So we got tofu. Looks just like the pork. Look
it
at that.
does actually. Look at that.
You can't look at that. You can't even tell the difference. Look at that. Which is pork? Which is tofu?
Make sure I eat the right one.
You're gonna fool you. How are those looking? Those looking pretty good.
These look pretty good. Yeah. I think.
Yeah. Yep. Excellent. Let's take another bread. Now, wait, before we do that, hold on a second. Let's do a little something here. We gotta open it up. Gotta do that. I love that. Like that. That's it. We're ready to go. Put that on there. So we have our steak sandwich. We have our Chouriço sandwich, our Tofu Bifana, and our pork marinated Bifana. All very traditional, with a new Portuguese tradition with a tofu. So you want to try one or what?
Yeah, let's try them.
What do you think? I want to try your Tofu Bifana first. Let me try that up. Let's slice that right here. Look at that. The onions are coming out. Try that.
Delicious.
This is good. This is excellent. I like that. This is going to catch on, I'll tell you. Yep, I want to try some of the other ones. I'm going to compare. I'm going to do a comparison test. We have the pork bifana. The knife. So, looks the same. Looks good. Looks wise, it looks good. Wow, that's awesome. Very good, very good. This is just like you get at the Festa. Yep, excellent. Chouriço. You want to try one of these or what?